We were shocked. We were shocked that a doctor witnessed this on television, and
I feel obliged to let this person know. They may not know they have something, and I was concerned for her.
It's funny how the world works sometimes. Most people would assume that the world would never do something for you and it's up to your own efforts to get what you need, but this is not always the case. As the saying goes, do good unto others and they shall do good unto you, and one doctor definitely lived up to this philosophy as a simple word saved the life of one young woman. Meet Nicole, your friendly neighborhood woman who loved to put a smile on others' faces. Her positive energy made everyone around her happy, and the sweet smile on her face was infectious enough to make even the biggest frown turn upside down. Nicole had one dream, and that was to live by the beach. Since she was a kid, she loved the waves and the smell of the ocean, so she wanted to get herself a beautiful beachfront property. Of course, despite her love for the ocean, there was one person she loved even more, her father. He was her biggest hero, and she got all her confidence from this man and so wanted to make the decision together with him. The two went around town looking for a good property, but unfortunately were not able to find a property that suited their tastes. After all, it's not as easy as buying any other type of property due to the demand. Luckily for Nicole, there was just a place she could go to get the place of her dreams, and that was the show called HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt, and it ran exclusively for purchasing and selling beach properties. More than that though, it elaborated on the family, their background, the kind of property they were looking for, and the motive behind the purchase. Nicole and her father unanimously decided that they would appear on the show and decided to come to the show as a celebration to add a little spice to their search. When Nicole met with the agency, she already had every specification for her beach property in her mind and instantly blurted out everything she thought about, while her father looked at her in awe at her enthusiasm. It didn't take long after that for HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt to send her an email to tell her that she was shortlisted for the show. They absolutely loved her energy, but that energy soon started to fade. Nicole couldn't understand it. She was celebrating a special purchase and couldn't be happier about her decision, but there was just something off. Still, Nicole ignored her feelings, brushing it off as the low after the high, and went on with the show. She spoke about her life and what kind of property she was looking for, but she kept running out of breath, though it wasn't that noticeable. But despite the oddness, Nicole loved the entire experience with her father and excitedly waited for it to come on TV. Now, we don't know if she actually got the property she was looking for, but when the show came out, she got so much more. Fast forward to a month ahead, this episode got aired on TV and the fans came flocking to watch. But there was one fan who noticed something a little different. Eric was a doctor by profession, and as he looked at Nicole, he saw what appeared to be a small lump on the left side of her throat, and he felt his blood chill. There was something he urgently had to tell this young woman, but he didn't have enough information. He tried tracing her name and digging deep into social media with keywords, but he was still unable to find the information he needed even after many days of searching. Now, most people would have given up at this point, but not Eric. The information he had couldn't wait, and when his own efforts failed, he turned to his friends. He made a short video describing the girl and posted it on his social media, and his friends were kind enough to send it forward to get more attention. Finally, one of his friends managed to get a hold of Nicole's social media account and forwarded it to Eric. The man wasted no time and immediately requested her to meet up with him. In the world of social media today, it's not always a good idea to meet a complete stranger whom you've never even heard of before, and the usual reaction is to just ignore the message, especially when said stranger said that his words would be better heard than written. But Nicole felt differently. She didn't know why, but something was telling her that it would be better to meet this stranger. She tried to think logically about this, thinking that since he said that he'd seen her on HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt, he must be a seller of some sort. But in the end, she just couldn't shake the feeling that the news she would receive wouldn't be the good kind. With her heart beating fast, the two set up an appointment for the following week to chat on Zoom. Through the time leading to the call, the bad feeling never went away, and her nervousness was at its peak when she finally sat down and joined the call. Eric wasted no time when she finally arrived, and after a simple hello, he requested a few virtual tests while he observed her. Nicole agreed despite the odd request, but when Eric returned with the results, there was a visible frown on his face, and a frowning doctor was never a good sign. Before Eric broke the news, he asked if there was someone else who could join the call to help her digest the news in case she fainted, and Nicole called her father over. With her stress at an all-time high, Nicole then asked Eric to cut to the chase and tell her why he'd contacted her. "My dear, you have thyroid cancer," Eric finally said. The words echoed in Nicole's mind, which turned numb in an instant. Was this why Eric hunted her down? How was he so sure about his diagnosis?
Yes, I'm a head and neck surgeon, and I just noticed a subtlety in her neck. You know, I'm trained to examine patients and I teach medical students, and it just caught my eye and I knew it wasn't right.
When he noticed the oddity in Nicole, he felt that it was his responsibility to tell her before the symptoms became worse and more obvious, even if he had to take some time off from his very busy schedule to do so. Nicole couldn't believe what she'd just heard, and Eric continued the conversation with her grim father. They first wanted to get the diagnosis cross-checked with a family doctor, but the conclusion turned out to be the same. Nicole really had cancer. The young, happy, and chirpy woman soon lost her happy state, and even her father was unable to bring back her smile. This cancer was situated around her throat, and that could come with a lot of complications. What if she lost her voice box? What if she never recovered from this cancer? Remember that we mentioned she was buying the beach property for a special reason? Well, it was because she'd recently recovered from glioblastoma. This was a fairly large tumor in her brain, and she'd undergone surgery not long ago to remove it, and now she had to go through another surgery. But it was better to remove the cancer in the very early stages before it spread, and Nicole's entire family rallied around her in support before her surgery, which turned out to be a success due to the quick action taken. When all was said and done, Nicole was touched and grateful that a doctor had noticed her condition from a TV and warned her about it, when her own doctor needed to perform several tests. So she shared her experience on social media, and unsurprisingly, the post quickly gained momentum. But there was something even more special that these strangers wanted to do for her. They wanted Nicole and Eric to meet up. She was flown in and wasted no time to hug the man who'd saved her life. In an interview with Good Morning America, Eric said that he was just happy that he'd been able to help. The two-time experience with death just made Nicole's faith in God grow stronger, and she's extremely thankful. We suppose that as a positive person who tries to give as much possible to the world, Nicole was rewarded in the best way possible. Everyone has their superpower on Earth. Eric's was observation and determination, and we hope that you also find the power to save a life. The feeling it gives can last a lifetime.